What's good? What's good? What's up, Tiger Nation? What's going on, baby? What up, bro?
What's up, pimpin'? What's up, D I Love family? What's going on, y'all?
What's up, man? Apologize to everybody for a day, being a day late. We was late, bro. It was late getting out that game yesterday, and late game, late start in San Marcos, Texas. we
Well, just the well, I don't say it, but we typically would have came on yesterday like normal.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the point.
but we actually stayed in San Antonio as opposed to San Marcos, and the game ended I think about 11:20 p.m. and
No,
we had to
it
drive back.
was well, no, it ended right around. It
It was
was
after
like
11.
10. It was close to it was late 10, but that's what I was actually getting into. Just what you're saying. We long story short, man, when the game was over, we wound up um
Driving back.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all right now, like if I see one troll, you ain't getting no warnings. You straight to the goulash, baby. I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? We grind, bro. We grind hard, man. We've been to every game. This has been an absolute brutal road schedule. We try our best to be as optimistic as we possibly can, yet still spending a bunch of money to go to make sure that we're there to support this team. I don't care for the jokes. I mean, you can if we talking football, then cool, man. But I ain't got no. I got a short fuse on a lot of stuff right now, so it was probably good that we didn't have the show last night because I probably would have said some stuff I didn't really want to say, or that I probably would have regretted. So I'm gonna just keep it as cut and dry as I know how to, man. We got done. It was late. We had Mr. Brown, with us. We wound up had taken them. We wound up going back to forget all that. We wound up driving an hour back to San Antonio to get back to the crib, man. Which it was well after, man. It was almost 1 o'clock, man. I think
Mhm.
once we got there because we wound up wound up going the wrong way, and he put the wrong address in. But anyway, so just trying to get back and get situated and try to do a reaction show was just, man, it was exhausted, bro. I'm tired now as we speak because flying all over the country. I don't think people really process though like how hard it is for us to do what we do, man. And doing pulling double duty with Tiger Talk, and then having to go to the game. We're in the game, and I'm gonna just say this right now. It's so easy. I'll say this: it's easy for us to say what folks should and shouldn't do. We played a really good Texas State team. I'm not gonna take nothing away from them. I'm not an expert in any shape or form or fashion. You go out, you put together a game plan, you hopefully things are working to your favor. But
Hmm.
the couch coaches are always the best coaches. They got all the best game plans, they got all the best strategies. They're the best player to never play. So Texas State was a tough opponent, man. That team was loaded with talent. But I'm real with you, Zoe, and I'll let you jump on in here. I don't give two fucks about Texas State. Matter of fact, fuck Texas State and they fans, they stadium, they coaches, everybody. And I say that with the utmost disrespect that I possibly can because of the amount of disrespect that was garnered towards us from being over there. To hell with these PWI schools and these Bush League, very disrespectful, racially charged atmospheres. I mean, the stadium looked nice, but them students, I could have grabbed a couple of them and strangled the hell out of them for all the stuff they were saying when we was on that sideline. Man, the amount of disrespect, the N word, the amount of finger signs we got, the amount of FUs, the amount of all of that. So I say that with the utmost disrespect.
Well,
Fuck
I'm
Texas
I'm
and their fans and their coaches and everything that represent them and all the PWIs that operate that same space.
I'll
JSU, guy, and that's all I'm pushing. JSU. That was an absolute You're right. It was an absolute disgrace, man. The
I
hell with
will.
that school. I mean
I'll,
that.
I'll address the atmosphere and everything. I'll get to that later on, but I really want to go ahead.
I'm getting to it out the gate.
I wanted to jump into the football. Well, I'll tell you what. You're already there. I'm gonna say this because I don't want to make this to be the main point of the show this evening. But I will say this. I already knew what we were walking into. I knew it was going to be some disrespectful stuff. That goes without saying.
I knew it too.
That's par for the course for any PWI. However,
that shit ain't excused though.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I knew it was going to be disrespectful. However, the one thing that bothered me, and I guess, look, I know I'm 45. I'm not trying to sound like the old man get off my lawn, but the one thing that really did bother me, and I think it's kind of a lost cause, is there was a young black kid in the crowd. You know, when I called you, I was laughing at it. There was a young black kid that was talking to me and just talking, talking noise, and what I'm saying, it doesn't bother me. But where this young black kid was, there was a white kid beside him, and literally another white kid beside that white kid, and that white kid beside, there's two spaces down from that black kid, literally yelled, I mean, at the top of his lungs, like, "Oh, lame ass nigger." And Hardy R. I'm sorry.
It was nasty, bro.
It was, and
listen, he was telling.
I wasn't bothered by what the kid said. I want y'all to hear me. I was not bothered by what the kid said. What bothered me was the black kid. Because I got to thinking, like, man, how can you?
It's not like they got punked. Like y'all, it's not the team fault, man. But there's some things that happen in there. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
My thing is, what
I
bothered
ain't
me
projecting that to the team though.
what bothered me was the black kid. I'm like, man, why would you even want to be in a space where you got plenty of people out here yelling racial epithets to your own kind, and you sitting there and like going along with it because this is somebody else from another school?
Well, one of the dudes.
That's the thing. I was like,
well,
whoa!
one of the young men was a black dude that was in a crowd of white kids, man. And I told him, I said, they don't like you like that. They just tolerating you right now. And I got so many FUs, it wasn't even funny. Now I'm saying that because we were close enough to hear it. The players were players is on the sideline. They in the game. But because we're standing on the sideline and we're not in the game, we don't have a game plan. We don't have the coaches got headsets on. So it's not like that. I mean, they were yelling stuff when the team and the player was sitting down. And I think the players did a really good job of ignoring it and staying locked in as best as they could. And but for us just kind of standing there, it just kind of was what it was. And I'm not shocked by it, man. I'm listen, man, I lived in Austin, Texas, and it's like this right here. The city of Austin has a slogan that says keep Austin weird. By definition, weird means outside of the norm. What is the norm in Texas? Texas is a red state. The norm is racism. The norm is Redneckville, USA. Austin is what's considered a blue dot in a red state. Blue dot meaning a little bit more liberal, inside of a conservative stronghold. Now, with that being said, you get outside of, from my own experience, I've actually, in my previous jobs, though, I'm going to say this and then we'll get to some football. In my previous job, I worked, my market was Waco all the way down to the Mexican border. So I'm covering two different markets. I'm riding with one of my salesmen up in Waco. I'm in Lorena, Texas, for those that don't know. I'm in Lorena, Texas. And inside of Lorena, Texas, I go into this spot called Bush's Chickens, though. So I'm in Bush's Chicken. I'm eating lunch right next to a Dollar General in Lorena. There's 3 kids in there, 3 white kids. They looked about the ages of 12, and one of them probably was about 10. And I've experienced this, like, not even within this is like a year before I relocated or whatever. And I actually had a kid walk out of that spot. Just me in there. I'm just in there buying some chicken. They was in there eating. I sat down and I get yelled the N-word before they walked out. Now I got up and I went out there and I addressed the kids and I lit a fire into them, so bad that the manager come outside and I mean, and it looked like they was terrified. So what I'm saying is that this is in the heart of Texas. That's how they get down, bro. And it ain't no different than Mississippi and any of these other schools. I'm just telling you what it is. We don't make the rules up, and we didn't ask to be that. You know what I mean? Now we understand aggression. We understand competitive fire. We understand all that good stuff, home field advantage. But disrespect is not something that I'm ever gonna be okay with. So, like I told one of them little dudes, I said, "Look, man, you already know that the reason you saying a lot of this stuff is because you up there in them stands, and you got a barrier between me and you. But if you was down here on the field, I'd make you eat this turf." And I looked at him and I said, "You already know. You know now." And then the little black kid started laughing or whatever because he was like, I said, "Now look," I looked at him like, "Bro, you already know I smashed this little dude, man." But anywho, that's to be expected. That's not a throw off. I just don't really care for him no more. I wish him nothing but L's for the rest of the season. So anyway, as far as the game, without even we got our butts kicked, man. We had some good spots and we had some very bad spots. We had some not so good spots. We had some okay spots. And from a football standpoint, um, before we even get into that, I think this is probably one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen in my entire life.
Without question.
It was. I'm telling you right now that I don't care if we played all you couch coaches that's expert in football that know everything that got everything figured out. You better than the coaches we have on the staff. I'm telling you that if your game plan worked like you think it would, we still wouldn't have won yesterday because of the way the referees were calling the game. I've never seen a game. I've never seen a game, man, that referees were blatantly swallowing whistles. Now that doesn't take away from the things that we did bad, but I'm sorry, folks. That interception that Jason wound up throwing, you can go right to the play. You can see that the cornerback
It was the play
was
of the game,
holding the wide receiver.
and they have these two huge monitors, scoreboards rather,
Unbelievable.
in zone. It's the play of the game, and they peeped this at the play of the game. Matter of fact, I can actually pinpoint on 3 scoring touchdowns that they have. It was blatant calls. That's the same call every time. I know a lot of
Hey, I
times
thought Coach O was gonna jump down one of them to
one of
one of
them
them
down
refs' throat.
we already know that a lot of people say, well, you can call hold on every play, but it's different when
Why
it's
do
down.
you think we don't take why do you think we don't take special teams seriously? Because we did it bad don't mean we don't take it seriously. Like, come on, folks. We do take special teams seriously. Whether we do good at it or not, it doesn't mean that we don't take it seriously. Like, that's an insult to the coaches and the efforts and the players that's trying to do what they're trying to do.
Well,
Are
hold
we
on.
very good at it? Not so much right now. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
something is not working well does not equate to.
Now, I'm gonna tell you like this right here. If I ain't listening to no coach bashing, no player bashing, or none of that. Get out of here if you're gonna come in here talking like that, man. I'm serious. Do yourself a favor and log off because I ain't trying to hear that, man. I don't foster that. I don't care what didn't go right. I don't care how it looked or what I wanted to happen. You know what I'm saying? You ain't out there coaching. You ain't out there putting blood, sweat, and tears out there on the field. I'm sick of our fans. Every time something don't go our way, we want to throw off on our teammates. I mean, our team. We want to throw off on the team. We want to throw off on the coaches. We want to throw off on the players. You didn't get on no plane to come out there and cheer.
Well, needless to say,
You didn't do it. You ain't made all 4 games. Now, if you did, you did. But I'm just saying, like most haven't. Most couch coaching, man. How convenient is it for you to sit back and have hindsight being 2020 and act like they're not doing the best that they possibly can? I'm telling y'all, it ain't a team in the swag that could have beat that team yesterday, especially not in San Marcos with
look,
with that type of officiating. It ain't happening.
at
Wasn't
the at
happening.
the, at the end of the day, just to start at the top, It was just a raw butt kicking. All right.
Yeah, we did.
But there are some things, more than a few things, we can actually take away from this game. There's some good we can take away from this game as well. You made a point that any team in our conference would have gotten beat yesterday, but we showed a lot in that game. Specifically, started off with prior to yesterday when we did the actual show. Notice the three keys to victory. They still stood pat in that game. And the main crux of everything of why we lost that game, number one, was the play of the special teams. Obviously, on defense, we couldn't tackle. It was the worst tackling performance I think I've ever seen. And we had we were just bad in the secondary. The refs it was lanyard. It was just the obvious thing that was the cherry on top. But we learned a lot about
but the referee, there was a point in the game though where we were back and forth.
Yeah, because I was going to get to that point because I was going to get to that point because when you talk about the dynamic of an FCS versus FBS game, we went 3 and out. Well, not 3 and out. We went maybe 5 plays and out on our first drive, right? And remember, they scored first. They got the ball first. They scored really quick. We got the ball. We went out. And I'm saying just on the first possession. But I'm going to bring to this point. Understand that if special teams doesn't play the way it played, we did whatever we wanted to do on offense in that first quarter and then going into the midway of the second quarter. I don't even think people understand that with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter, it was 20-28. And every point that we got was from long drives, all three. And we drove straight down the field. How many times do you see that against the FBS opponent? No matter who it is, you don't see that. We were moving up and down the field like it was Southern. Matter of fact, we moved better on the field against them than we did against Southern. And we missed the first kick, and we'll get into the whole kicking thing because there's a reason for that. We'll get into that. But we missed that first extra point. The punter's the kicker now. FYI, if y'all didn't pay attention, if you watched the game, the punter is the kicker now. And, we make that. So really it should have been 21-28 with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter.
No, why is the punter the kicker? Injuries.
The punter is the kicker because
injuries can derail a team. We had several players that played we had a couple of starters that was out this game. I mean, that didn't even make the trip. Cornelius Miller was out. Big Junior didn't make the trip.
Big Junior was
KJ
out.
Aronson starting linebacker last week. Starting kicker didn't make the trip. Starting linebacker didn't make the trip. Defensive tackle didn't make the trip. You see what I'm saying? Like there was multiple play. I mean, and it is what it is. The fourth game of the season. I wish we had played this game earlier, though. I really do. But go ahead, man. I ain't mean to steal.
No. You good. No, I was just actually, adding to your point. No, you're good. The thing is that we were actually getting what we wanted. We were moving the ball. Like I said, it was 20-28. And at that point, we're gaining momentum. We're doing what we want. They couldn't stop us on offense. The only problem is we couldn't stop them on defense. We couldn't stop them on offense either with the way that we were tackling. But the biggest crux for us on defense, as bad as the tackling was whenever they did anything running the ball, the thing that really stood out on defense with us was the linebacker play. Because we didn't have a 3-level defense in that game. The moment they got past the D line, they were in the secondary. Pretty much the moment they got past the D line, cornerbacks and safeties were getting tackles. We missed a lot of angles and we missed a lot of going into the wrong hole, into the wrong gaps on defense. There was no second level. That was the biggest crux for us on defense.
Hey,
that and tackle.
Look at this. It happened right in front of the referee.
It happened right in front of us. But again, it wasn't just that. I'm telling you.
Go back and look at it was the push on Jency. His helmet come off. The dude run over there, push Jency down right in front of the referee. That's right by the sideline. We like, bro, you not gonna call it.
That was on the same drive that Davenport pushed whoever it was in the face. That was on the same drive.
And like you could tell the coaches were basically saying, dog, if y'all gonna call the game like this, we don't have a snowball chance in hell to win this game or even compete. because at the end of the day, that's why I said that's what I just mentioned that, Calvin. Yeah, he did. I mean, it was so many holes. Even if you go back to the kickoff returns, with the kid Quan
King,
Walker,
hold on. Before you say
they
it,
got
elaborate.
they got two players holding Bouye.
Elaborate. I will say, make sure you do this. Elaborate on the holes, because you know people gonna say you can call hold. We're talking most time when you say that they're talking about O linemen. We're talking about receivers and on
I'm
special
talking about
teams. Go ahead, elaborate.
receivers. I'm talking about it did not matter, man. You know what I'm saying? Your mama trash, Fred. And you out of there. Keep going.
No, you keep going.
Oh
I'll just
yeah.
while you saying it, just elaborate who was doing the holding. Go ahead.
Yeah, you get all these jerks in here. You trash. You trash because you ain't got no life, and you pull up to a chat because you're a low life and you ain't got no you ain't got no business to tend to yourself. If JSU trash and you showing up on a JSU platform, then that makes you worse than trash. Think about that. All right. Now my point was
Go ahead.
you're in a situation where the referees, and again, nobody's saying that if the referees call the calls, we're going to win the game. But if you go back into the flow of the game, there was calls even before that pass interference, though, on the first couple of. Now, the first drive we give a touchdown, that's on us. Bad tackling, right? They come back. We're not able to really do much. We move the ball a little bit, but that was even another pass interference that wasn't called. All right, we get pushed off the field. We go from there. But we go down 14-0. We come back. Jason Brown and the offense
March straight down the
begins
field.
to start marching down the field, and we show something. So now we just get into a touchdown exchange of touchdown. That 14-point gap went all the way to 28-20, and then they wound up scoring. Now, I want to give him some credit for some stuff, man. We didn't touch TJ Finley the entire game. We were unable to get any pass rush that was effective worth anything. So he pretty much stayed clean outside of the times that he ran the ball. Quan, the kid number one, the wide receiver, made an amazing catch. He was covered pretty well on John. An amazing throw by TJ Finley. The running backs ran hard for them. The O-line blocked. They did well. You know what I'm saying? You credit what credit is due. They ran a three-headed monster at running back. Hell, the backup quarterback could start in the SEC right now, Hornsby. We knew he was electric, dynamic with his feet. And by the time you come in and you got a four-star kid that's fresh and you got a defense that's tired, the depth starts to rear its ugly head. So you look at just that. I mean, and you think about it. We're in a situation where we got a lot against us, but we showed a lot. We showed a lot, and we persevered through it. But again, you go back to the turning point of the game, Zoe. It was that missed pass interference on Rico. After that, everything kind of went downhill from there. I think we kind of just felt a little defeated, maybe.
You got to mention too, where we were going through the whole scoring, and then they score, we come back and score. You got to remember, we got to put it in context. We keep the ball to them every time.
I think that's pretty much a Captain Obvious statement. We don't have to keep it real. We understand that 22 scholarship difference showed itself, because when they go to their bench, that you still got three. This team, let's talk about this team, man. Look, we always gonna pick our team. But when you talk about hold
on, because I disagree with their statement. Well, do this, put that. I don't think by losing that game, that showed that we can't compete. Because again,
that's what I'm saying. Like, at the end of the day, there are gaps. If you got an extra 22 scholarships and your FBS program with more money, you have the ability. And this is something that we just gonna have to really understand at this level. We got to get serious about NIL, man. We got to get serious about that. We got to get serious about investing and donating to the program. We got a JSU by 40 campaign right now. Every alum should be frustrated enough to sign up for that campaign. That's what we're talking about. If every alum contributed and signed up for that we're talking $24 million that could really change the trajectory of our athletics. We always want to run our mouth. We always want to bitch and gripe about what ain't right, what we want. But I'm sorry, folks. Before we even play the game, a lot of the stuff that we saw, Zoe, came from just a mere. I'm talking about monetary investment. Facilities look great. It's a great stadium, by the way. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that's working in their favor. But at the end of the day, we can have that, but it's going to cost us. We got to be willing to do what it takes to make up the gaps in certain areas. But anyway, back to the football piece. When you look at what we did do well, we had some really good good motion. You know what I'm saying? And then I like we got two quarterbacks that can play. You see what I'm saying? The offense was a bright spot. You know what I'm saying? We got to clean up special teams. We got to tackle better. We got a lot that we got to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you look at we are an FCS team that play in the SWAC at the end of the day. This is still a very tough road game. I mean, road schedule. You start the season our first 4 games on the road. First time head coach. Neither one of these coaches or players have played in the vet just yet. And this is the 5th game. And we started our season on August the 24th. If you listen, I ain't playing no football, but hell, I'm tired with all the traveling we've been doing, bro. You understand what I'm saying? I'm being honest, man. This has been tough. It's been tough. And I'm not making any excuses. It is what it is, man. You know, sometimes you want to just sit down and stay home and not have to mentally figure out and the stresses and then did I leave my you know, you packing up every week. You know what I'm saying? That's not easy, man. It's not easy, but it's I'll say this, that adversity is gonna build some character in this team, and I think our team gonna be better from it. I mean, listen, I love that we scored 34. I'm shell shocked by the 77 though, bro. I was like, my goodness. And I feel like the officiating made that game bigger than what it should have been. Maybe if the officiating is a little bit fair, maybe we put up 40 and maybe they score 60. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, man? Hey sis, great show tonight. Proud of you. I saw you call me, but I was already live. I was trying to wait. That's what we were trying to do. We really wanted to wait till Rochelle got done airing her first episode tonight. Hopefully you guys have hopefully you guys tuned in. It was an amazing show. I absolutely enjoyed watching it. And I just want to say, keep up the good work. You did a fantastic job. If you guys are not subscribed to Miss No Gray, y'all go ahead and do that right now if you don't mind.
Subscribe. But
no, you're right. You're right. You're right. It's not an excuse. I'm telling you right now, man. This was brutal, and we really try our best not to say things that's gonna offend folks, not to get out of line because we understand people. A lot of people tune in. We don't know that's watching, but right is right, wrong is wrong. This was a tough freaking schedule, man. It was. This was the hardest part of our schedule. And you know what? Coach Taylor said he wouldn't have it no other way. Then guess what? We ain't gonna have it no other way either. You live from it, you learn from it, you grow from it, and you get better and you move on. So we wanted to have this so you can get all your Texas State out because we're not talking about this tomorrow night. That's why we decided to come on tonight. But go ahead, bro.
No, but I mean, but into it, we did learn a lot about ourselves. The offense, if our offense can move, because let's just be real about it. There is no other team that we're going to see on our schedule that's going to have number one the caliber of athletes that we faced yesterday.
Hell no.
But then also, if we're able to dog walk them and just do what we want to do on offense, and mind you, what we did was in the first quarter and the midway the second quarter. This wasn't late in the game where they're all big and we're stat padding. This isn't what this was. And I mentioned in the pre-show when earlier that morning when I said, you know, we have our athletes match up with them, and we did. Our receivers could do whatever we wanted. Our receivers could do whatever they wanted. O-line actually up in that point actually played decent, and Jason looked the part. Jency Riley did his thing. Nephew, I'm so proud of you, man. You did your thing. Jency looked good.
And he is better, by the way, for those that were asking.
And yes, and he's fine. He's back home in Jackson. DJ looked good. I mean,
DJ didn't play. He was hurt.
But do what he wants to do.
Hayden Hagler, though.
Yeah, Hayden looked amazing. And that's the third tight end. Hayden looked great. Rico was Rico, and Rico was held all night long. But we have the pieces, man.
We appreciate that. Sonica, we appreciate that. We just don't appreciate the environment that we we was in on Saturday. But right on, keep going, Zoe.
And then when you talk about our running game, I mean, Irv came in and looked the way he looked. You know, I wish his numbers could have been a little bit better with regards to his attempts. And then I was just going to get into that.
We're gonna get that. Don't worry.
You guys got to understand, JD is the starter and JD is out. So they moved Earligan into the number one running back spot. You got him followed up by Desmond Moultrie, and then you look and you got Ahmad. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but I told y'all before the season go in, I was like, I know people talk about other running back rooms in this conference, but I was like, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a better one. Ahmad Miller's a true freshman. I don't know if y'all remember, but Ken, did we not come on here and say that this freshman class that we have, and we're talking about the freshmen in this signing class, is going to be a foundational piece for the transformation going forward for this great foundation of JSU football. Isaiah Spencer. We haven't seen Isaiah Kendall yet. Ahmad Miller's a true freshman. Came in, and what was his stats? I think he finished with 97 yards on 16, 17 carries?
I gotta look at the stats. I don't have.
I mean, dude come in looked amazing, and that was against that, and that still was against their first team defense, by the way. And Jason still looked the par. You know, the interception, it was what it was.
This is not true, by the way. It's not true.
No, that's not.
Got a few players from Incarnate Word, but this is you're talking about almost 60. Several FBS transfers. Last time I checked, Incarnate Word is not an FBS school. They had several FBS.
They only hold on.
The offensive line, the wide receiver.
They brought in like
probably about 10 players.
It's about 12 players from Incarnate Word on that team.
Yeah, but this ain't basically the Incarnate Word. No, it's not.
It's a lot of
team is not Incarnate Word. Now that's no Incarnate Word was tough as a $2 steak last year. They fell short by a one drive, in the FCS playoffs. But this is an FBS team that beat Baylor. And regardless of how folks want to look at that, whether you think Baylor's good or not, look, Baylor's roster is a Big 12 roster loaded with 3, 4, and maybe I don't know if they got a 5-star on their roster, but I know they loaded with 3 and 4-star student athletes. So
Kevin, number 10 is from Utah Tech, and number 10 is a dog too.
Man, number 18 is a dog.
Yes.
Lord have mercy. Yes. Boy, listen, man, them wide receivers, boy, I got to that wide receiver core that they got, number 10, number 18, nice. And number 1.
Nice. It's nice.
Hey, man. Then when you got a big 6'7", 255-pound quarterback that's back there that's not being touched. And I told y'all, I said that in the pregame. What did we say, Zoe? If we don't get any pressure on TJ Finley, what is he going to do? He's going to pick us apart.
Well, guess what, Ken? That's any quarterback.
That's what I said. Now, I said that hoping that we would get back there and tap him up a little bit, but we just couldn't get to him. And that's a testament to that offensive line. And, you got to doff your hat out to him.
Hey, man, we just got beat by a better team, man. It's no other way to put it. We just got beat by a better team.
And listen, man, and I say this too, Zoe. I'm not worried about playoffs right now. I'm not worried about transfer portal right now.
Next game.
Man, just go through the season, man. It's a lot of football left, a lot that can happen. You know what? Let me go ahead and tell y'all right now. I'm pretty sure somebody on this team gonna probably enter the portal at the end of the season. Coach Taylor calls. He says like NFL free agency right now. So get your minds wrapped around it. And it might be a player that you like or love. Doesn't mean that we didn't do everything in our power to keep him. It's just the nature of college football now. So once you accept the fact that you may lose a player at the end of each season, it is what it is, man. You learn that you go back and get some more dogs, just like you do. You do what you can do to keep them, right? But if you can't, then you go replace them. It's that simple. But I don't move with fear. Oh, I'm so scared we're gonna lose this person. Oh, I'm so scared this ain't gonna happen. Listen, man, if y'all, whether you like it or not, we look at Coach Prime, his first. This is TC Taylor's spring. Regardless of how you want to look at it, this is spring. He got the job on December the 13th, and it didn't take effect to December the 16th to 17th, though, and he immediately hit the ground running, trying to build a roster as well as put together a staff. It was on the fly, and I think they did a really good job thus far. Now, are there some holes in some areas? Yeah, but how many times are we gonna play Texas State? And who else on the roster we gonna play that's that tough? I mean, who else on our schedule that's that tough? We got to act like we didn't play at FCS school yesterday. That's why they gave us a check to come out here and play them. You know what I mean?
Oh, and let me add one other thing too, because I know the coalition isn't here. Hey, Ken, do
I
you
hope
know?
they speak.
Well, hold on. You do know that while I'm speaking today, and we're done with our non-cover season, so it's SWAC from here on out, right?
All SWAC. Next 7
You,
games is all SWAC games.
you do know that only FAMU and Jack State has 2 wins, right? Mm-hmm.
Ain't that something?
Yes.
So let me get this straight. You got a bunch of folk that worried about what's going on at 1400 J.R. Lynch, and they school ain't got how many games did they play? 3 games, and ain't none of them got but 2 wins, except FAMU.
A good number of them have played. Pretty much everybody's played 2 games, right? Everybody's played 2 games, but even out of that, Jack State and FAMU are the only people that got 2 victories. It's a lot of 1-1s and 0-2s and 0-3s. Texas Southern is 0-3. So, and everybody else got to come see us. So I'm not at this point. I'm speaking to all BI Love family. From this moment forward, don't think about playoffs. Don't even think about SWAC championship. The only thing on your mind is Bethune-Cookman. We're gonna control.
But let me say something, Joe.
Go ahead.
Let me go back to something. I don't think people understand how hard it is to build a program, bro. I'm serious, man. Our coach had to build a program and a staff while bleeding players. And players that did return, some of them left. And some of them had a hand in others leaving too. Those players that the coaches thought were actually going to return, Zoe, did that not affect how he recruited?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely, it affected how he recruited. Now, it is what it is. So what I'm saying is, I think Coach Taylor knows how to recruit. But when you're in the middle of the season, there's windows for that. There's a time point. There's a point where you just you get what you can get. Having a full season to recruit and scout and build relationships, it's a whole different ball game. I think he knows where his team is lacking. I think he knows what he needs. And I think when he gets that opportunity, he's going to go knock the ball out of the park, just like he did with this class. And get what he's going to do? He's going to bring in some more dollars. But that's not something we should ever be thinking about 4 games into the season with 7 games to play. You go to war with the men that you have in uniform, and you make the best out of it you can. You coach up the best way you can, and you live with that. We got to get out of the mindset of constantly comparisons of thieves of all joy. Last year's team is gone. This team is a whole different team with a whole new group of young men. And I'm sorry, some of these young men had never been to Mississippi before they came and played for Jackson State, and they've yet to play a game in the vet. It is what it is, man. They went out and they fought. And everybody said it. So how is it that everybody and their mama could say the first 4 games was going to be the toughest games for Jackson State, and now that we done with them, we're all on the road and we finished 2-2. Hey, we beat our rival. Didn't count in the SWAC play. We beat South Carolina State in Atlanta. It is what it is. We lose to FAMU. We lose to Texas State. Whether you lose by 1 or 41, it don't really matter. A loss is a loss. You take the good from it. You extract what you can from that. You clean up and address the issues, and I think that's what they'll do. I think we'll be ready for Bethune-Cookman and the crowd. These old fair weather ass fans in our fan base will be chanting TC 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 again after we beat Bethune-Cookman, if that's what happens. Sick of it, man. I'm sick of the wishy-washy back and forth. Either you in or you not. Either you riding with him or riding with us, or you not riding with us. I'm sick of it, man. You can give your critiques. You can speak on that. We come on here and talk about what worked, what didn't work every week. But we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I don't even talk to them folks. I'm not going back and forth. I'm not commenting on these stupid posts because I'm gonna lose brain cells trying to comment on some of these dumb posts that you see out here for folks that claim to be experts and couldn't even play on an intramural team.
Well,
It's sickening, man. It's sickening. You act like folk can't see that. Then you get mad when 60 Minutes come on and folks show the bad side, the ugly side of Jackson. You get mad when folks show the stuff that you doing it. Why don't you shut up and stop yapping on the internet? I think everybody and their mama saw what the game looked like. I'm sorry, bro. I'm just like, we do this every single year, man. I don't even talk to folks. That's why I don't even get on social. I ain't been on Facebook in days. I'm like, the hell with Facebook. All these folks. I ain't finna sit there and have no conversation with somebody that want to see us lose. Why would I have a conversation with that person? Come on, man. It's ridiculous, man. Ain't nobody gonna stop me from talking. You say what you want to say, but you're gonna do it over there.
Well, one thing about it, like I said, we definitely learned some things from this game that we could take from the build on. I mean, we can start with the obvious first about the things that we need to work on. I mean, when it comes to the kicker in the kicking game, like it is what it is. I would like to note that, from what we saw pregame, Ken, knowing that we missed the first extra point, we were good from there on out, right? And so now it's just a matter of, we know he got the leg, and so we can actually do it. Our thing is kickoff, and this all kind of sprung up on us quickly last week. So we got another week to actually get to it. And I think we actually can get better on kickoff. But that's just the kicker themselves. What we're going to do that we will see going forward is going to be a change of personnel to get the kickoff coverage unit on point. If we get that rectified, we'll be fine in that regard, because the punt team is outstanding. Punt return team is actually fine. It's just our issues been on kickoff coverage.
Yep.
We get that straight. We change personnel. We're able to tackle. We should be fine in that regard. Then when you look at the main thing that we got to get rectified ASAP is got to be tackling.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got to tackle
because that's when
we
that
have to
kind
tackle
of
better.
that believe it or not, that reared its ugly head in both losses, even against the loss to FAMU.
Yeah,
It really come down to tackling.
that was hard to watch, bro.
It really come down to tackling. We got to get better at that. I can also assure you, from what we saw, especially going to the second half, I expect to see some you can bank on seeing some personnel changes on the second line of defense within the linebacker room. I mean, the line is formidable, but we got to get better the linebacker spots, and we got to get a little bit better in the secondary. But again,
it was good to see ourselves against the FBS team, because it showed us just how far off we are.
We know how far we off we are. I agree.
Yeah, it was good to see that. You go and you see it, and there was a point in time in the game where we was right there, tit for tat. Offense, their defense, our offense was giving their defense some blues, man. And
we have 4 yards to offense, man.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we got an offense that can give the rest of the rest. I'm just saying like this right here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it. I don't think I'm saying something that's like a woo moment. I think for the next 7 games, everybody that we play is gonna have a hard time stopping us. And I mean, I think they don't have a hard. We found some things that work. We've now. I say that with this being said, we have to clean up, like you said, the tackling. We have to clean up, our coverage. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that we're insert like the touchdown that was given up. It was a great play actually, where there was nobody back there, not a safety or the linebacker. I think the linebacker was supposed to stay with him. He wound up moving back to the middle of the field and guarded nobody. And he just, all he had to do was he could have floated it in the air and it still would have made it to the wide receiver, and nobody would have made it over there in time. So at the end of the day, I just like what I saw in that spurt. You take you take away from that what you can garner from that. But we have to figure out, what's happening on the back end of the defense. We have to, you know what I'm saying? The linebackers gotta step it up. You know what I'm saying? The DBs got to step it up. But do we play a team that's got a line that size, that you know what I'm saying, it's got a quarterback that big, that accurate? And no, we don't. I don't think we play another team that looks anything remotely close to Texas State.
Won't even play on a team that has the weapons that they have.
No. But again, only reason why I'm saying that is when you look at it, you look at the team and you look at some key, like this is what I'm saying. This is where the gap in scholarships come in play, though. Attrition. You lose a player that means a lot to the team, it can derail a team. It can alter your season on the FCS level. On the FBS level, you have a lot more able-bodied young men. You know what I'm saying? You can have some 3 and 4 star players sitting in reserve. You know what I'm saying? That because you have the money to carry that. That's the main difference I would say from an FBS standpoint. But at the end of the day, man, he recruited his butt off. Even talking to some of the folks from Texas State yesterday, they even said this is not the same team. They said the team that we had on the field yesterday would have beat the team from last year. That's how they felt. They felt that the team from last year was just was not good at all. And it was like, if y'all played the team that we had last year, I feel like what we just saw, and they acknowledged that there was some it was poorly officiated. You know, the refs could have been a lot better. This is from a Texas State person. It's like, man, the refs could have been a lot better. It was obvious that that's what was happening. But they like their team. They like what the new coach has brought to the San Marcos for them. It is what it is. So, that don't mean nothing to us. We not saying, ooh, thank you for acknowledging us, but at the same time, you look at, what they were able to do. So one thing I will say is this right here, Zoe. If a coach takes a job at an FBS school, even if they come in and recruit the way he recruited, it's still an FBS school with a ton of talent on their roster. You see what I'm saying? Maybe that it wasn't. So if you go in and you try to flip that roster, which we've seen several coaches do, including our previous coach at where he's at, you can have some success immediately. So I want to say how many games did they win last year? Maybe 4?
I tell you what, to prove to your point,
Yep.
Colorado was 1-10 last season, right? Horrible.
1-11.
Hey, do you know who's been the best player in the secondary? Starting free safety.
Shiloh, the same player that everybody that some of our he can't cover, he can't do this, he can't do that. He looked darn good.
The free safety, Trevor Sumner. That's who sealed the game yesterday with the interception. That's who got the interception against TCU in the end zone. Same kid, 43. And he was on that team. I was just going to bring to your point.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that was on the previous.
I was going to bring to your point that you said, because people think because a team wasn't good last year, that the reason why they weren't good is that the team was devoid of talent. That is a lie. That is an untruth. You can have a talented team that lost for various reasons. Doesn't mean that the well is run dry. You can have tons of talent on a bad team.
I mean, in college, man, the game is won and lost from the quarterback position. And usually, if you got a good quarterback, you got a chance. You know what I'm saying? A good quarterback can change your fortune real fast. Obviously, the game is won and lost in the trenches, though. But absolutely.
Trevor Woods, that's the kid name. That's just to add to your point, Ken, about the head coach, Ken, when he came to Texas State. There was the cupboard wasn't bad. It's just that, hey, I'm leaking here. Let me jump in the portal. But because bear in mind, the stigma is it's still an FBS program in a great league, by the way. The Sun Belt is a damn good football league. So what are the kids thinking, Ken? Oh, FBS. I want to be in the FBS. So
I mean, wow, even in that game they had over 200 recruits
in the portal day against Jack State. Very easy. So he got some damn good players. Like I said, you got a high flight 4-star quarterback sitting on the bench, man, backing up another 4-star quarterback from Auburn.
Hey, look, man, and then the quarterback that we was after, he wound up going over there. Again, we got a lot of players that would rather go sit on the bench at FBS school than to go to an HBCU with the potential to play.
Exactly.
It is what it is. We understand that. Here's another thing in relation to this comment right here. Nikki, great comment, right? I don't know if y'all realize this, but y'all do realize HBCUs don't have the same luxury as PWIs. We the rules are a lot differently. If you go out there and you see people out there talking bad about the team and the players and stuff like that, that stuff actually weighs heavier against. So it doesn't matter what we say is happening at PWIs. They're still going to go over. Kids are still going to go to those schools if they get the opportunities because, it's just the way that it
Wow,
is,
I
right?
didn't know that.
Hmm?
I didn't know that. No, we didn't have any major injuries.
Let me tell you something, man. I'm almost people got mad at me, Zoe. And I even had some folks coming in the comments talking about it was stupid. It was just stupid for you to say take the homecoming game out of the season ticket package. Family, this is why I'm saying that I loved our schedule last year. Rose Green, I'm gonna just delete you. I ain't gonna cuss you out. You need help though. You need help. You're an idiot. But anyway, that's what we dealt with. We had to deal with all that yesterday. And this is what I'm saying, bro. Like it's frustrating, when you see that in real life because this is what people try to do, and you have to persevere and keep rocking and rolling. But I'm telling you, man, I'm not a fan of these games, man. I'm just not. At the end of the day, if you want to play FBS teams, do what you got to do and move up to the FBS level. I get it, bro. I'm saying at the end of the day, be intentional about the money that you need. So I'm saying schedule the games to where forget scheduling the game, regardless of how you do it. If you put yourself into a good space, charge your fan base to show up and patronize that game and actually pay a higher clip because you need to make that money instead of going out there getting embarrassed on national TV. Nothing about 77 points getting put up on us is good, man. It's not. It's not, man. We was tied. They tied one of they listen, man. They tied our shoestrings together and put one of our hands behind our back. That's how the official. If you're gonna play a game that the referees are supposed to manage the game, bro, it's hard to play a game like that when one team is allowed to do other things that the other team is not. I told. Well, let me be quiet. Somebody said something on the sideline to a referee that that was like, it's amazing how y'all got 20/20 vision when it's us, but y'all like Slick Rick out here with with one hand over your eye. You got a patch in the hand over the other one when it's the other team, man. This is ridiculous, man.
Look, I'm gonna go on record and say it. I don't care. There's nothing anybody can say about swag refs to me. That Sunbelt crew was ridiculous. They were all time bad. And now I'm gonna say this, and I mean this. If we want to get into it, because they speak so clearly when they're announcing whatever the fouls are. But outside of that, dude, they were horrible. They were all time bad.
Yeah, that was
All
bad,
time.
man. But hey, listen, I know me saying that don't mean nothing. I'm not an AD. I don't work for the school. I ain't got no power like that. I'm just giving my opinion. I don't have the ability to make what I'm saying come to life, but I'm just saying how I would do. I'm not in that position, so I'm just giving you my perspective of that because I don't value these games. I value our institutions, and I understand we got to do certain things. And guess what, Zoe? We go to ULM next year. Next year. Now I'm telling you right now, we're going to beat them too. We're gonna go show up to try to beat them. It is what it is, and how we and look 2025. We got. I think we go to USM.
USM the other day.
It is what it is, man. We're gonna continue to do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man. This is. There was scouts at the game yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Yeah, it's a different path, man. That's the thing that. Let me ask you this: what game did Josh Williams play? He was the first HBCU player off the board. What game did he play that was against an FBS opponent that got him on the radar of the NFL scouts?
0.
Show me what FBS school did he play against?
0.
What about the young man? What about the young man that did Lane take a FBS opponent?
No.
Jordan Farmer, what's his name? Farmer, the young man that was at Lane that's actually playing in the NFL right now?
No.
How about Emmanuel Wilson, the young man that played at Fort Valley State, the running back? What FBS school did they play for?
None.
Did they play against?
None.
So I don't want to hear that, man. Like, There are players right now that's in the NFL that played at
me
HBCUs. If you play well, I get the notion.
let me interject right there because
Go ahead, bro.
I want to say this because I'm gonna save you the best thing that you didn't see. Shador Sanders. Shador hadn't changed anything that he's done. Granted, they'll say, well, he's doing against Power
Got
5
better.
teams. He's gotten better, but he's still the same. I hate when the majority of people that say that quote is because it's stuck in my lexicon because of what I heard on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily true if we're really gonna be real about it. I'm gonna be honest, it's not really true. If you can ball, they will find you. Period.
That's true.
Because see, here's the thing. We get into this one game audition. Oh, he played and he balled out. You could ball out against Mississippi State, if Jack State, for example. That don't guarantee that players gonna get drafted. They just use that if he does get drafted to say this is why. That's not true. That's not true. Hey man, do you know who was the last HBCU to have 2 first-round draft picks? It was Jackson State. Yes, it was in the year 2000. We had 2 first-round draft picks, and we didn't even win the conference that year.
Hey, what's up, Rube? Let me ask you this question, bro. Zay Bolden got drafted. He was the only HBCU player that got drafted. My question is, so you're telling me now we didn't play an FBS opponent in 2022?
Sure did.
We didn't. In 2021, we played ULM. So what you're telling me, go back and look at the amount of snaps Zay Bolden took in that game.
Damn good point. Damn good point.
That's all I'm going to say. He was the only HBCU player that got drafted this past season.
And you know why he got drafted most of Ken? Because he has the measurables and his what? Special teams play. Well, Ken, how many kickoff returns or punt returns did he have against ULM? You see what I'm saying?
So the point is that this is what I'm saying. There is data that supports that, bro, and there's also data that goes against that. I think what we're seeing is that from an NFL standpoint, I don't want to get off on that any further. Campbell is not an FBS school; it's an FCS school. Once again, you're missing the point. That's not true. You can disagree, but it ain't gonna make it no different. James Houston would play 4 years for Florida, bro.
Competition. Hold on.
Competition. No, competition. I'm not saying competition doesn't matter.
No, I'm not saying you did. I'm reading the comment. I'm saying to that comment, yes, competition does matter. But
like when we play Campbell, like we want to. At the end of the day, you only get 3 slots to play out of conference games. You only get that. James Houston could have went way higher. I think when you hindsight being 2020, I just think that like last year, forget all that, man. Hey, you know what?
No.
No. I don't. I'm gonna get back to the game, bro. I'm not going down that lane. You disagree? We're good. I'm good with it. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. You right. Let's move on. You right. You right, Jay Hunter. You right. My bad, bro. You right. You proved me right. Let's move on. I ain't doing that tonight. It would be all night, bro. It's no, Campbell didn't move up. They moved to a different conference, the CAA. That's another FCS conference.
You know, how are they doing right now?
I don't know and don't care. I don't pay. Ain't nobody care. I don't pay them no attention. So my answer now, instead of disagree, is fine. You're right. Now, this is a point that can actually be made. Great point. We can say that it's because of competition or whatever we want to say. I'm sorry, bro. I'll say it this way. We didn't play an FBS opponent last year, and we was the only HBCU player that got drafted. There was several HBCUs that played FBS opponents with draft-worthy players. You're not gonna tell me Isaiah Land. Isaiah Land is on the Colts right now. Played in the Senior Bowl. So did Aubrey Miller. So anyway, let's move on. Only lost to William Mary. They beat Monmouth 45-31 this week. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I don't pay no attention to them folks. I only paid attention to them because they were playing us. Outside of that, I give zero cares about them. So anyway, what's the takeaway? Like I said, the key takeaway from this game, man, is that we got some things that's working on offense. We got some things that we can build on. I like the progression that I've seen us make. I do think that go look at the stats, right? If you look at the stats, we had several receivers that caught passes on yesterday. Several receivers. Shout out to Kobe Paul, got a couple receptions in the game. I think they did a good job of trying to spread the ball around. Like you said, Zoe, we got a three-headed monster at running back with Mulligan, Moultrie, and Miller. Oh, 3 M's. 3M. Needed endorsement by 3M. It just hit me, dog.
Hold on. What did it say? What did it say yesterday on yesterday morning on the live though? Moultrie, Mulligan, Moultrie and Associates. Moultrie, Mulligan and Associates, man.
I don't know who that Zach is, but I just zapped them. I just looked like it was a mess coming. Them 3 M's, man.
Who's that blue?
No, Zach Blue is Zach McKinnon.
Okay.
No, I know him. It's another Zach. It was just a Zach. I don't know what they were about to say. I just saw a couple of 4 M's. Who's the other 4? Who the Martin? Ooh.
JD.
4 M's. Wow. Moultrie, Mulligan, Martin, and Miller. I like that, man. I like that. But no, we have some things we can take away. Listen, we ain't running from no smoke, man. We got our issue now. We said we was gonna shock the world. We got JSU by 40. We got a 40 ball put on us, and we take it and we roll with it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to be Bethune-Cookman Saturday. I'll tell you that.
Now, we'll get into Bethune-Cookman. I will say this. I don't think Bethune-Cookman going to be an easy out. I like Spragu, the quarterback, JUCO quarterback that they signed. I mean, I think, like you said, though, we not sugarcoating anything. We got to tackle better. You know what I'm saying? We got to go make it happen.
Well, one thing about it, man, as bad as the tackling was, you can rest assured going forward, starting with Bethune-Cookman, we're going to see a heavy dose of a lot of teams even running the ball more or really having a short game to get players the ball in spaces to go ahead and try to get yak. Because they see that what they saw on film is, hey, man, those guys are bad at tackling. We're going to have to wrap up and tackle this week. And we're going to have our first real test this week, too.
Listen, I think the coaches are going to have a field day with all types of film that they can play. Right. And they're going to coach these guys up, and our guys are going to be receptive to the coaching. One thing I will say is that I love the optimism from the team. Shout out to a lot of the players that, and we say, look, man, keep your head up. Them boys went out and fought, man. They went out and fought. And I think the thing that the message from what we got from what Coach Taylor said at halftime, because I think we went in halftime 56-20, and it was 28. It was 28-20, and it's just the game got out of hand. And he said, look, we let the officiating get in our head.
We did.
We let it get in our head, and we let it steal some of our competitive fire. It is what it is, man. We let it happen. You learn from it, you get better from it, and you move on. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm gonna say is this right here: if you riding with the blue and white, stay with the blue and white. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that. The D coordinator got to go. Nah. It's a new defensive coordinator, 4 games into the season. Y'all already ready to replace.
I'm gonna say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, man. I really don't think anybody can say anything about any of the coaches on staff right now, because I'm gonna be honest. There was nothing that the defensive coordinator called.
Up, Doc? Appreciate the chiropractic
call on Saturday. On yesterday, the D coordinator didn't call anything that was wrong yesterday. D coordinator can go out there.
D coordinator played defense, didn't he, Zoe? Was he out on the field? He didn't go out there and miss a tackle. I mean, so, look. Never mind. Keep going, bro. I'm
No,
not. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna let you answer that one.
the point that I'm getting at is that uh, everything for our miscues yesterday had nothing to do with coaching. I'm gonna really keep it black and white with you. It was execution and tackling, because I can assure you, if we execute even earlier, to mention your point, Ken, we actually had a really good game plan into this game. I honestly think if we actually
Yeah,
follow
bro.
the game plan to the T, we win this game on yesterday. But even when you have a game plan, we got punched in the mouth when we punch back. But again, coaching can't make you go out there and give effort. Coaching can't make you go out there and tackle. And at the end of the day, it came down to tackling. I don't care what Bradley did at Alcorn. Whatever he did at Alcorn has no bearing on players tackling. Dude, if I actually told y'all to go and actually count the number of missed tackles, man, you would laugh and be like, my gosh, you will not. We won't beat anybody that we play if we go out there and give the effort on tackling with anybody on the schedule.
Hey, this is a great comment, Calvin. If the player's in the wrong position, that's on the coaches. If the player's in the right spot and doesn't make the play, that's on the player. That's a great way of putting that. I like that. Now, listen, man.
Hold on. Okay, then that comment you just read. I got a certain position. I got a certain position on defense. It's called middle linebacker spot. So if a linebacker ain't in the right hole, is that still coach? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is a great point. The most points we scored on it. I like that. Let me get this straight. UTSA only scored 14. No, 21. They won.
Oh God.
They scored 14. That was a defensive. Okay. It's a great point, man. Put up 34.
No, Calvin. I'm gonna say it again. When it comes to linebacker play on a running play, so it's like God, right? God know what you're gonna do before you do it, but God also gave man what, Calvin? Free will. Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you believe.
So I'm just saying. I still give you free will, right? I'm just saying. So I'm gonna say this: if you got you ain't gotta watch film, go back and watch the game. What we call was right.
Hey, I love this comment. These folks could even be defined. I always ask them to donate the coach's salary. There you go.
So now coaching was not the reason why we lost yesterday. Effort
Listen,
and execution.
hindsight being 2020 is always it's easy to go to what didn't work and imagine on what could have worked, what should have happened. And that's what I was trying to tell someone. I saw Jason yesterday climbing the pocket, and I saw Zai do it as well. When you are on the field, you're working in a very small radius, like what's in front of you, right? And you got your guys blocking, you got the defenders trying to come and tackle you. You're trying to remember the play and know where your guys are going to be. You're trying to scour the field and still build the pocket. If you make the decision to go to a certain receiver and you say, oh, this one here was wide open, your assessment of the player being wide open is because of your vantage point of the game. It's not from the vantage point of the player. Now, the greats, they find a way to make that happen, man. But what you want to see happen is that more times than not, you want to see the player make that play. And because we're so accustomed to seeing great players do that. But I think
point. That's an amazing freaking point. It's a damn good point. It's a damn good point. Here's the thing, though. We still, and I think TC may do it because he hinted that after the FAMU game. A lot of one major problem in today's climate of football is the need to take.
No, Isaiah Spencer ain't red shirting. He played in. No, he's not red shirting. He's gonna be on the field.
They've taken physicality out of practice. A lot of teams don't go live or really do any tackling during practice at all. and that's one major problem.
That's true.
But we're really gonna have to get on that wheel this week.
And do you know why they take a lot of that out of the games, though?
Fear,
Attrition.
with that attrition and fear of injury.
That's what I'm saying. Attrition.
Yeah.
You lose a player, so a lot of coaches have gotten away from like a lot of tackling drills, man. And I'm not saying that our coaches have. I'm not even speaking on that. What I'm saying is that around college football, you know what I mean? Because of the amount of soft tissue injuries, just a lot of things you see, especially mid-season. It's rare that you see them go through a full strength and conditioning training program. Some of them do. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're not but what T said, you're not even allowed to tackle at practice anymore.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
But mostly it's injuries, though. Coaches
they limit how much you do practice, because let me tell you, we actually put pads on. TC even told the world we put pads on the week of Southern. We sure did. They just don't because of attrition due to injuries. You can tackle. It's just the climate has gone away from it.
This is a good question for another time, though. How much of the tackling, the art of tackling, has been affected by the amount of like targeting? You trying not to target, so you go into certain aspects of the body. So these kids when they used to just lunge at your head or lunge at you all out of control, you know, the Bob Sanders of the world and the Steve Atwaters and the Ryan Clarks and you know what I mean? Yeah. Nowadays, it's just you only have a very small radius in which you can hit a player anyway. I actually feel like the hit that hurt Jency was a targeting, because or a hit against a defenseless receiver. And speaking of targeting, there was an egregious target, on Travis yesterday, but we're not gonna get into that too tough. But hopefully Travis is okay, man. I hate to see a player. I mean, he's a good kid, man. He was a JSU Tiger last year, and for him to take that cheap shot yesterday in their game was just, you hate to see that, man. But if that's not targeting, like you said, though, I'm using that as an example. Targeting means that I'm coming after you. I got a target on you, and I'm coming and I'm hitting you anywhere. They use the crown of the helmet, but it was also if you apply an appreciable amount of force to a defenseless receiver. That was a cheap shot, man. And the young man really should have been ejected. But he just got he got an unnecessary roughness, I think.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Honestly,
appreciate the donation, bro.
You think of the thought of targeting, that is the true definition of targeting. If I'm purposely going to hit somebody, a defenseless player, to hurt them, that's targeting. And to me, so what's the difference? So how can you get a 15-yard penalty on that, but then I can inadvertently hit you with my helmet? Because it's not even a crown. If you notice, no more. It's not the crown of the helmet anymore. It's any contact with my helmet.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. I mean, we like I said, we saw some good, we saw some bad, but one thing we have seen, we saw after butt whooping against FAMU, what did we see happen, bro? We saw the team come back and respond, go into a hostile environment and beat our rival. We come back. We took a tough L yesterday. We show up. The players were they're excited to get home, man. And I think we need to show up, man. I can't say it enough. We need to be in the vet on Saturday. We need to be live. Now, one thing I got to give Texas State, credit for, despite the little few idiots that was heckling and saying stupid stuff, the game day environment, the game day
was amazing.
Experience was on point. You can tell they put a lot of work into making sure that their games are
game day experience was their
game experience. The putting the student section behind the visitors bench was pretty creative to me.
Students stood up.
They made some noise. They were intentional about the noise. I like the noise meter on both screens telling everybody to get loud. I love that, man. The DJ wasn't, out of sync with the game. The band wasn't out of sync with the game.
Everything was done with the phone.
Everything was about the football game and less about different entities having its own little solo acts. Yep. And that's the thing that I feel definitely needs to be better on our end. Not trying to duplicate that, but it's like, how can we do what we do great and still make the football game atmosphere be more intentional towards the actual game. And that way that game can affect the opposing team that's coming in. We need to be all on top of BCU next Saturday. This Saturday coming up, man. So I want to see us rowdy. We need to pack the vet, man. We got to show up, man. We got to show up. We ain't got before game. Now, if you're gonna be crying about only having 4 home games, you got to show up.
Yep.
You got to show up.
Yep.
It's WC Gordon Classic. You know, it's family day. Bring your friends out, bring your family out, bring your kids out, bring your nieces, nephews, all of them. Bring everybody out to the game. We got to pack the vet, man, because this is what they came to Jackson State for the experience of running out of the tunnel and seeing their own fans out there losing their minds and cheering for them, man. So we got to show up, man. Me and Zoe had some numbers we played around with in our head. That's what we think is going to be the attendance for this game. But you know what it need to look like, Zoe? It need to look like this picture behind me, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it need to look like. Now, we know that's a Southern game. Or no, is that homecoming?
That's homecoming. I would be remiss if I did not say, man, shout out to all of the I Love family who came to San Marcos, Texas. You guys did you did your thing, man. It didn't go unnoticed. Quite a few Texas State fans and alums actually, shot at the distance that we actually came to the stadium, and we came. I was proud of the amount of GSU fans that was there up in the upper deck, man, and we and the beginning of the second
noise too.
Active. Yeah, in the beginning of the second quarter, our fans got active and got into it too, and was behind the boys. So big shout to y'all for that.
Shout out to the JSU alums that had the tailgate over there with the segregated black folk from Texas State.
Oh man, that was wild. That was wild, man.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't making that up. They had Black Alumni Week for Texas State, and they were separated.
It was crazy. It was like 2 different tailgates.
I appreciate that, Bobcat, Josh. With all due respect, but I don't know what that was about. They separate. They was across the street over by the bridge, and the other tailgate area was over there. I don't know. It just looked that way. The optics weren't very good. But anywho, I was happy to see all our alums. We got a nice little collection of Jackson State alums in the area. Shout out to the Austin alums that met at the meet and greet and in Austin, and
the Dallas chapter of
Houston as well.
Yeah, Dallas and Houston, man. Shout out to y'all for coming out, man.
So yeah, man, it was what it was, man. 77-34. We took a L, but whether we lost by 43 or we lost by 3, it don't really matter, man. Said that's what USM tailgate are like. Oh yeah,
I ain't know that.
Stop loving on that.
I ain't know that.
I like the little. Now, one thing I will say, though, I like them little white little things they was banging on.
Oh yeah.
That's some noise makers. We might need to get some blue and white joints, man, and have them in the crowd banging on them jokers.
Guess what? It don't matter what you got. Then you, man, let me tell you something. As horrible as their student body was, man, they were into the game the entire game. They stood up the entire game. They were loud, obnoxious, everything for
James. What's up, James? James is right. James, hey, he's like he said it. The atmosphere was amazing. I got to give it to him, man. Outside of the few idiots that was, heckling, the atmosphere was amazing. That crowd got loud, man. That was at the part of the game when we first went on offense, bro, and we got the 3rd down, bro. You couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
When they told them to get loud,
man, they got loud.
They got loud. I'm saying you talking a 30,000 seats. Is it 35 or 30,000?
It's 30,000 even.
30,000 seat stadium sound like that joker was about 50,000.
And that game yesterday was the 9th highest attended game in Texas State history.
So this is what we do. We regroup.
Yes, we do have 6.
You regroup. You do the best you can, man. You come back stronger than ever. We'll be ready. We'll be ready for BCU. like I said, it's a 24-hour rule. We gave you 24 hours to get it out your system. Hopefully, you got everything out tonight. We ain't talking about it tomorrow. I can just tell you that right now. Tomorrow we own the BCU. I'm gonna go watch some games on BCU and start scouting them so we can have some great talking points. I suggest you do the same. But again, shout out to the coaches and the staff, and the support staff, as well as this team has. They have taken the challenge, man, of this 4-game road sled to start the season gracefully. Um, like you said, Zoe, we get out of this thing 2-2. We're in good hands, man.
Yep.
And we're in good shape, rather. So we can. It's on us now. Do we finish the season 9-2? Do we finish 8-3, 7-4? It's gonna be up to us. We got to go make it happen, man. So I got a lot of confidence in this team. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we start a new SWAC winning streak, and we go 7-0 in the SWAC. That's the objective. That's the goal.
We start that today. But there go your points. It's on us, Ken, but it's on all of us. It's on the football team to fix what's leaking, to get on the right track. But it's also on the fans. It's on us to be there and support them. I mean, it's all one entity. We can't sit here and just say, we hope that they do good, or we don't like one particular thing that we see, and then we regress because we're not seeing something that we want. At the end of the day, man, we got to be a 12th man. And we can actually segue from what we showed up in San Marcos, Texas on yesterday. So the main thing is we need the team to get better. And, man, to echo what you said, Ken, Saturday, we need the vet pack, man. We need 40,000 in the vet come Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We hold the coaches and the players to a standard. Damn it, we got to hold our own selves to a standard. We don't need to just be there. We need to be there and get active. They need us. They feed off of us. You know what I'm saying? So, again, we're all one team. We got VI Love family. You got the team, then you got the extended team. That's us.
They said this is a good point. Those nosemakers were given out for free.
I think they are.
Yep, they were. But that's an investment, though. That costs money.
Sure does.
And they were given to the fans for free, or the students for free.
But I was going to tell you too, because I actually want to ask about that, because those things are still what they call artificial noise makers.
That's true.
You can't use an artificial noise maker.
Somebody said that yesterday. We was talking about that, and show looked like they got away with it against us, huh? How's that any different than the cowbells, man, or any all the other stuff? Those are artificial noise makers.
With the Cowboys, they tell you got to ring responsibly. They have a certain segment or a time that they all can ring, because you cannot ring, because the moment they ring when the opposing team is on offense, they're going to have them stop doing it. And Mississippi State does not ring when the other team is on offense. They have a period, like timeouts, stoppage of play, where they'll ring, or after touchdowns. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You cannot ring the bell when the other team is on offense.
Hey, we
cannot have artificial makers.
Man, listen, it's all good, man. I went back and looked at it. I said I wouldn't, but I couldn't help myself.
Point too. Daryl just made that. I didn't even think about that. I think that's true too. In non-conference games, damn sure can't do it in conference games. Okay. And Mississippi State has a special waiver from the NCAA TV and use the cowbell.
Interesting. Good deal, man. Anybody got anything else? You got anything else you want to add, bro? I'm done with it. I'm ready to flush it. We said what we saw. We said what needs to happen to get better. We take away that's good. You learn from it, you get better from it. I gave my take on Twitter. My Twitter take was tough road game from Atlanta to Miami to Baton Rouge over to San Marcos, Texas. We get out of this thing 2-2, and now we got to go start our SWAC winning streak all over again, because we got to get some straightening. We got some folks around here yapping. So at the end of the day, we come out this thing with a winning streak. It's gonna bode well for the season. I think Tiger Nation will feel a lot better about this team, the staff, and everything. The coach, it's like this right here, man. The coaches are gurus when stuff works, but they need to be replaced when it don't work. So the players are dogs when they win, but when they lose, they bums. To some people, and it's just not that. It's usually somewhere in the middle. That extreme. We do this from one week to the next, but hopefully we can get started. We Once we get that home game, we got a bye week, and I'm pretty sure the players and the coaches are definitely looking to just take. They looking for that bye, man. So if we can get healthy, we can get refreshed, but we got to go get BCU. I know BCU coming to Jackson. They're not coming to Jackson to lose. They come to Jackson to play, and we got to go take it to them, man. So
It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a tough game.
I think so. This is a great point. Appreciate that. This is what we took away from that as well. Really love the offense, but remember last week, folks were questioning the offense. It's amazing how it worked from week to week, huh?
Yeah, but that defense can't play in the belt. Not the way we tackle it. We got to get better at that, man. The tackle was horrendous. But again, that's something that could be fixed though, because we tackled well against South Carolina State, and we tackled pretty decently against Southern. We gave them a bad punt return. They got a flag. They brought that back, but we got to get exceptionally better on defense with regards to the tackling.
Let me ask you a question though. Since people want to say that, let's say we do win out, and let's say FAMU handles their business. They go to the Celebration Bowl. Keep people keep talking about the playoffs. I think we got a lot that needs to happen in order for us to get consideration.
I'm gonna be honest, and I mean this as clear as day. I think if we win out the rest of the season, and I think even if we beat every team on the schedule by 21 points, we're still not gonna get a playoff bid, because that's how bad the SWAC has been in non-conference.
Yep, it's the reality we got to accept.
The only way we really get a playoff bid was to have won yesterday.
Yeah, that would have got us in there.
That's all it means by us helping ourselves. But
or FAMU beats South Florida and we make the game yesterday close.
Yes.
Without that, it's a lot got to happen. Then the other piece is that you got to look at the other teams and how well they're playing or not playing.
But it don't matter, because that's what everybody in non-conference we're horrible. This was
it helped that Valley got dog walked by Delta State. I tried to tell you.
And so just to put that in context, Valley lost, I believe it was 31-7 to Delta State. So guess what that means? That means Jackson State would have to be Valley to even get good consideration. We would have to be Valley by the same score or more, because they lost to a D2 that bad.
Yeah, this Alabama team is whew.
Hey,
right though.
I don't think about that almost don't give you no ratings. Almost don't raise your rank in your ratings. It don't.
That's right.
You got when you lose. So, but to answer your question, no. At this point, the only thing we can really hope for is to win out and FAMU lose a game. That's where we are right now. I mean, and that's why I say don't focus on the playoffs, because that's not something you can control either way it goes, because you're getting the at-large bid even if you do go. But what you can control is your effort and how you're gonna play this Saturday against Bethune-Cookman.
Boom shot.
We got 7 other things left, and guess what we control? Our effort and how we're gonna play in the rest of the 7 games we got on the schedule. We can control that.
I agree. I don't have nothing else to add to that. That's a good place to stop. We'll be back tomorrow. Y'all know, same place, same time. Had a whole crew on there. Shout out to my brother Toronte for the hard work, him coming in and doing all that he does.
Proud
of you, Rochelle. I know Nook will be back with us this week, and looking forward to what we got to discuss tomorrow, man. That's gonna be it for tonight, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Love.
Go Tigers.